Alright, so yeah, good morning, and we got some new shoes in for testing here. This is the Adidas Boston 13, which has been a series that, well, Adidas gave this a pretty big makeover, starting with the version 10 a few years ago, which, I'll be honest, was probably pretty much the worst shoe I've ever run in. It was just so firm and so stiff, and yeah, then we got the 11, which was a bit lighter, so definitely an improvement. And then we got the very, very popular Boston 12, which was a bit softer underfoot and just a bit more flexible, but still wasn't exactly my favorite model. And now we have the 13 here, which once again features a bit more Lightstrike Pro in the mix here. So yeah, should be a bit softer again and hopefully a bit more flexible and a bit more nimble feeling. So yeah, let's see how this does. Yeah, these new Boston models, they always have this feeling for me like I'm running on a piece of wood, if that makes sense. Like this 13 here, this has gotten softer for sure, but maybe it's down to body weight, I really don't know, but I just feel like this midsole is so kind of lifeless. Like I'm just not really engaging this foam and these energy rods at all. It's just, I don't know, it kind of feels like this foreign object underfoot. It's just does not have this feeling of really connecting for me. Yeah, I just get the feeling that this shoe is somehow quite slappy underfoot. I don't know, I mean, this has a quite traditional geometry. There's not a lot of rocker to this, which is something that works fine for me, but I don't know, pair that with the pretty firm foam and the very stiff energy rods and just get a shoe that kind of feels like hard work to run in. So there's been some questions here whether the Lightstrike Pro that we have in this shoe, which is mostly in the forefoot here, is actually the new softer formulation or the older one. And I'd say, just squishing my finger into this does feel like the new Lightstrike Pro. This does feel quite squishy, but the thing is that the regular Lightstrike, which is this white stuff here, this is honestly so firm that it just feels like it dominates this ride here. And yes, you have a bit of added compression in the forefoot here with the Lightstrike Pro, but the regular Lightstrike just makes this shoe so stiff and so firm that yeah, it almost doesn't matter. Yes, just this regular Lightstrike here, it's so firm, especially in the heel where most of it is sitting in this shoe. It just feels like, I mean, even for me as a forefoot striker, just kind of rocking back on my heel a tiny bit there. It's such a hard platform and I don't know, it just feels quite unpleasant to run in actually. And yeah, I don't know with this one. So yeah, let's have a quick look at this upper here, which was one of the main criticisms on the version 12. And I think good news is that this 13 here is an objective improvement really. It now has a bit more padding in the heel here, so yeah, it shouldn't rub your Achilles as it used to. And otherwise, I think this is actually quite simple, but yeah, quite well constructed. It's got the padding where it's needed, like in the tongue here, and the rest is actually quite breathable. Though I do find that the fit on this is a bit weird actually, as it's just not quite ideal for my foot shape. It's quite narrow here, but then actually has quite a bit of volume up here in the toe box, and I do feel like I'm swimming a bit up front here, but I mean, it's not a major problem or anything. And I do think that the upper and also the outsole on this is probably the best part of the shoe. So I think one of the main issues with this shoe is just use case, and I'm kind of struggling a bit to see the point of this shoe in a way, as I mean, this shoe is probably meant to be like a versatile shoe, meaning you can use this for your easy runs and use this for your speed sessions and for your long runs and yeah, pretty much anything really. And in a way, yes, you can use this for everything, but I think the main issue here is just that it doesn't really do anything particularly well, and there's just better options for pretty much anything here. yeah, I definitely would not use this for an easy run. It hurts my shins and it's kind of firm and pretty stiff feeling and just not pleasant at all for easy runs. And if you want to do a speed session in this, well, I guess you can, but you can run fast in pretty much anything really. I think here the problem is it's just a bit heavy at 230 something grams in my size, and just this midsole just a bit lifeless and just not exactly an engaging shoe I'd want to do a session in. Yeah, there's just better options, even if you just have one shoe for everything, which I kind of doubt. But even then, you've got Adidas' very own Evo SL, which is just more responsive and more cushioned really, and much lighter. And if that's too unstable for you, which is very understandable, then we still got the SL2, which is also just softer and more flexible and more pleasant to run in. So this Boston 13, I just don't really see where this fits in for me. So another thing is with this shoe that I actually find quite alarming in a way is for some reason this shoe gives me shin pain, which is something I got in the Boston 12 as well, and I don't quite know what it is here. I think it's just something about the geometry here or something about these energy rods that just does not agree with me for some reason. So I'm kind of thinking that using this a lot in the future might not be a good idea. So a major positive here of the Boston 13, or maybe it's a negative for me actually, is that this shoe is incredibly stable underfoot, and maybe that's what's bothering my shin, as it just feels like a shoe it does not like to do this kind of motion. And it's interesting, I mean, if we look at this midsole here, we still got the cutout here in the midfoot, but you don't really feel that at all. It's a shoe that really likes to stay flat and planted to the ground. And yeah, I think then with a lot of these super trainers with plates and energy rods and whatnot, a lot of them are quite wobbly, and there I think definitely is a shoe that can make sense for you. So this shoe is what a lot of people would describe as a super trainer. So you get some of the tech here of the top line race shoe. You do get the energy rods in this, but this shoe does not feel like an Adios Pro 4. This is so much firmer, and the rocker in this is just so much flatter, and it just does not have the fun factor at all. And I think actually the Adios 9 is probably closer to the Pro 4 than this one. It's almost like half an Adios Pro, where this is something different really, and I think a lot of people might buy this as it looks like an Adios Pro 4, but the performance is just not there with this one. So yeah, I think that's it here on the Adidas Boston 13. And well, I think main verdict here is that this is not an objectively bad shoe. I mean, the 12 is such a popular model, and I do think that this is objectively better than the 12, just a bit softer and a bit better upper, but it's just a shoe, I just have to be honest here, it just doesn't work for me. And yeah, it's kind of hard to put my finger on what it is, but just something about this midsole setup just doesn't agree with me. And yeah, just have to be honest here. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry that this is kind of a negative review, but yeah, it's just the way it is, and sometimes shoes just don't do it for us. And yeah, still hope you found this entertaining, and like and subscribe as always, and see you soon.